And one of the things that anthropologists are very interested in is creation myths. And the fact that, any society has an elite who will remain elite, not just by virtue of controlling the means of production, the money, but by shaping how people think. And as part of that, some kind of creation myth story is, very useful in terms of propping up the elite and reproducing the status quo. And I say useful not because this is necessarily done as a plot. It's more that patterns develop, which just kind of happen to support the elite. So guess what? They get reproduced over time. And creation myths are very interesting in this respect. And looking at the bankers, and I tell the story in my book at some length, looking at the bankers in 2008, or originally 2004, what struck me was that they were this self-enclosed tribe doing stuff that no one else understood. A bit like the priests in the Catholic Church in medieval Europe, who spoke financial Latin and nobody else understood it. And they had confidence in what they were doing because, for the most part, the congregation sat there and dumbly accepted the fact they spoke financial Latin, and the congregation didn't understand it. The whole thing being blessed by the Pope. But also there was this very strong belief that essentially the creation myth was that we've had this innovation wave. We've created these products for repackaging risk. We slice and dice everything. It's made everything safer, as I told you. And therefore it's going to be fine. And it wasn't a deliberate con in the sense that people were conning others to believe it. They sort of half believed themselves. And the most powerful truths, or the most powerful ways to control things, are to essentially create patterns which people are half aware of but not completely aware of. Subsequently, I realized there were some glaring intellectual errors at the very heart of this creation myth. For example, the financiers would always say that they had a mark-to-market accounting system, which means that all the values of things were supposedly marked to the market prices. In reality, most of this stuff was never traded because it was too complicated. So the accountants would basically rely on model-based prices to value things on their balance sheet, which was a complete contravention of the theory and the creation myth. And yet no one saw that or commented on it. And you think, well, that's kind of weird. Why? Well, the reality is we all do that every day in our lives, where we basically avert our eyes from inconvenient truths or from contradictions. We all have tremendous tunnel vision and just focus on a few things around us and ignore other areas where there may be challenges to our creation myth or things that just don't fit in well with the stories we like to tell ourselves.